My Podcast, lady dudes. You're about to enjoy a podcast from the Lone Tree Studios Podcast Network. If you want more great podcast dudes and lady dudes and dudes and other peoples, go to LoneTreeStudios.com. It's the studios. Okay, goodbye.
Wreck My Podcast.
A friend who's a chauffeur, an inappropriately aged girlfriend, and all the ice cream you can eat. Preston's life was the envy of every kid in the 90s, and we are just realizing as adults how this movie might have skewed our view of money before we even knew what a checking account was. This week, we cover Blank Check on Wreck My Childhood.
Wreck My Podcast.
Hey everyone, welcome into the Wreck My Podcast where, hey, more audio issues, more recording issues. That's right, this is just becoming our show, the Wreck My Recording Show. So we're covering Blank Check this week. Starting off the bat here, I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to tell you guys the kind of information about this movie, and then we're going to get into the recording I did with Cam and Joe, and quality maybe suffered there a little bit, but who cares? That's what you guys are used to by now, right? Yeah, great. Okay, so this movie came out February 11th, 1994. I couldn't find a budget on this movie, but it made $30 million worldwide, which is pretty good. Not too shabby. I think that's a pretty good amount of money for a kids movie in the 90s. It was set in Indiana, but it was filmed mostly in Austin, Dallas, and San Antonio, Texas. And the beginning part at the theme park was Six Flags Fiesta Texas. So if you're wondering what theme park that was, there you go. I got you covered. This has a 9% critic score on Rotten Tomato. 34% audience score, quite a big gap there. So people do enjoy this movie a lot more than the critics did, but that kind of makes sense, especially since there's some questionable things in this movie that we're definitely going to talk about later. This movie was directed by Rupert Wainwright. He directed a bunch of MC Hammer music videos back in the day, like "You Can't Touch This," doon, 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 doon. He also directed the movie The Fog, starring Tom Welling. That's right, everyone's favorite Superman from Smallville. Or I guess he was Clark Kent. I don't know if he actually ever became Superman in Smallville. I never watched that show. I don't know. But yeah, that's like literally the only other movie of note that this guy did was The Fog. So this movie starring Brian Bonsall. He plays Preston Waters. He was in Family Ties when he was a kid and a few other things, but nothing of note really that would stood out to me. We have Karen Duffy, who played Shay. That's right, the FBI agent. She was in Dumb and Dumber. She's the bad guy's sidekick in Dumb and Dumber, which is kind of fun. I think her name also was like J.P. Shay or something like that. So she had two movies that came out the same year where she played a character with the same name. That's kind of weird, but a fun little fact for you. James Rebhorn played the dad. He's in like a million things. Independence Day, The Talented Mr. Ripley, The Game, Meet the Parents, My Cousin Vinny. This guy shows up everywhere. Like, you definitely recognize his face from something. The mom was played by Jane Atkinson. Now, she actually had a blossoming career of quite big roles since this movie. She was in 24 in season 6, I believe. She was in House of Cards, or still is. I don't know if that show's still on, but she was on that for a long time. But she was also in Free Willy. That's right, that's a movie that we're going to have to check out for this show for sure. We have Miguel Ferrer, who played Quigley, the bad guy. He was in Twin Peaks. He was in Traffic. He played the voice of the leader of the Huns in Mulan, which is kind of fun. He was also in RoboCop way back in the 80s. So that's kind of cool to see him. It was another face you'll probably recognize. The guy who played the banker, his name is Michael Lerner. He was in Elf. He plays the book publisher guy in Elf. He plays the mayor in the Godzilla movie with, what's his face from Ferris Bueller? I don't know why I'm blanking on his name, but the guy who plays Ferris Bueller, that Godzilla movie, he's the mayor of New York in that movie, as well as he's in Barton Fink, if you ever watched that movie. I don't know if a lot of you guys who listen have watched that movie, but he's in that as well. We have Tone Loc, who plays Juice. He was in Ace Ventura. He was in Heat. He voiced someone, I think Tech in Titan AE. He's another face you'll recognize. This movie is full of faces that you'll recognize, but just names you don't know is what it is. The guy who played Henry, the chauffeur, his name is Rick Ducommun. and he was in Groundhog Day, and he was in The Burbs, and he had like a background part in Encino Man, which was a movie that we have covered on this podcast before. So I think that guy is probably the shining moment of this movie. I really liked it as a kid, and as an adult, I really liked that sidekick character of him. We have, okay, so I want to mention the cinematographer of this movie. The cinematographer is Bill Pope. Now, maybe not a household name, but some of the stuff that he's been a cinematographer on since this movie are huge projects. The Matrix, Spider-Man 2, Baby Driver, Alita Battle Angel, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, Bedazzled, Clueless. This dude has a rap sheet of amazing movies for being cinematographer. So that's kind of cool that he got his, this is one of the earlier movies he did, I believe, and since there he just exploded, which is great. I have a quick fun fact for you about this movie, that if you enjoy podcasts and you also enjoy this movie and you enjoy trivia, you should go check out our friend Ryan Buds on his podcast called Trivia with Buds. A long time ago, his format is that it's kind of a daily format where he gives you questions, like 10 questions, you answer them. It's a quick 10-minute listen. But back in the day when he started his podcast, it was a weekly podcast where he would have 2 guests on and then they would battle against each other in trivia. Well, one of those episodes was he had Brian Bonzel on, who plays Preston Waters from this movie. He also had Victor DiMattia on, who plays Timmy from The Sandlot. So you have the kid from Blank Check and a kid from The Sandlot, and they're both going at it at trivia on that. So that's super cool, especially if you're like a 90s kid, because those are 2 huge movies that we all know. But with that, now that I've kind of filled you in on the movie, let's get into talking with Cam and Joe on this terribly recorded podcast audio that will hopefully be fixed up by next week. I don't know. I'm going to keep saying that. Transition. Welcome to Wreck My Podcast this week, where we sound a little bit different because we're making things work. I'm here with my guests this week. They call him the Babemeister downtown. It's Cam.
Oh, that's super nice that they call me that downtown, except downtown in Knoxville is essentially just filled with a bunch of toothless people that their eyes are close together.
A bunch of guys named Johnny?
Yeah, except not my roommate. Like, way worse people than my ex-roommate.
Oh, no, I was talking about Johnny Knoxville. But anyway.
Oh, I get it. The jackass
Dumb
guy.
joke.
Delayed getting.
Dumb joke. I'm here with my other guest. He wants candy. It's Joe.
I want candy.
He gets that one and I don't get
Nope, he gets that one. And then I'm your host, Jordan. I got a pocket full of hot wings, but I can't eat them without my Tums. So
I got a pocket full of hot wings.
Oh, that's good. I like that.
Are you guys hot wings
Okay,
with
guys,
blue
so-
cheese or ranch, guys?
Neither. Give me just all the buffalo sauce you can manage.
You want buffalo with no cooling
I think-
cream agent?
Yeah. Oh, no, yeah. Ranch just takes away from the buffalo flavor.
It's because ranch is the single worst condiment in the history of the universe.
Yeah, because then all you're going to taste is ranch. It's like ketchup in that fact.
Yeah.
And I actually do not like blue cheese. I mean, it's fine. I'll eat it, but I'm not going to be happy about it.
He's going to be real upset over there.
He's like, man, you give me some blue cheese. He's like, starts crying. He starts like delivering a monologue about how it took his dad.
Whole backstory.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It's like the movie Rubber, except it's blue cheese. It just breaks apart into crumbles and starts infecting the world. There's a script in there.
I mean, that sounds kind of like Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. Just a little bit. Where did Cam go?
I went to go get a beer, but then I just shouted it into my phone because I realized we're doing it into my phone, but I went and got another Tecate.
Oh, okay.
Because to peel the curtain
so
back, we've been
something
trying
a
to
little
do this for an hour and a fucking half, dude. Like, I need another beer to keep going.
Yeah, it's been a long time we've been trying to do it. And finally, I was like, you know what? Or I think someone suggested, let's just voice record on our phones, voicemails real quick so that we can actually say what we thought of the movie. And then I can do the rest of the grunt work, I guess, for the time being, on like all the crap that you guys don't care about, but our listeners, they tune in for that stuff. They like that stuff.
They tune in sometimes.
The fun facts. Sometimes, every now and then. It's less and less people as we're getting worse and worse with this recording
Which is
situation
fantastic.
here.
I love
it. Yeah. The first thing we're going to do here is we're going to do Jordan Explains the Movie quickly. So here I am with a little bit of fun music underneath me explaining this movie to you.
Hey, it's me, Jordan. There's a little boy that gets money.
Oh, yes. It's time for Jordan to explain the movie quickly. Our story revolves around Preston, a kid who thinks way too much about money and wants to be rich. When Preston's bike is run over by hardened criminal Quigley, he offers Preston a check to replace the bike. But when the cops come over to see if Preston's alright, Quigley leaves before he has a chance to fill out the amount on the check. Preston takes this opportunity to commit a felony and fraudulently writes $1 million on the amount line. Luckily for Preston, there's a whole convenient money laundering heist going on at the bank he tries to cash the check, and he is given the $1 million mistakenly. So now Preston has $1 million in cash, and he can buy all the things he always wanted. The bad thing is that Quigley wants that money back and tries to track down Preston the whole movie. But this is a kids movie, so of course it's mostly about buying a bunch of stuff that no one actually ever owned. Just for fun, they throw in an FBI investigation element into the plot, and a witty chauffeur sidekick too. If that doesn't sell you on the movie, Preston, who is an 11-year-old, tries to seduce a 30-something-year-old woman with necklaces and lobster. Quigley finally tracks down Preston to get his money back, but Preston had spent it all, so he goes all Home Alone light on them and sets a bunch of traps. In that time, Preston learns the moral of the story that money can buy you a lot of things, but it can't buy you friends. At the very end, the FBI arrests Quigley for money laundering, and Preston gets to continue on his life knowing that in 6 years, he's gonna bang that unrealistically attractive FBI agent.
And
He
he
spends it
also
all in 6 weeks. 6 days.
in 6 days and wants to fuck a human adult.
I'm down for it. I'm here for it. Not for the kid, but I'll do it.
Okay, so there's the movie for you. It's an interesting
looked
movie.
good.
Here's my question for you guys. Joe, have you watched this movie before?
Yes.
When was the last time you seen it?
I've seen it once before, and I know when I first saw it, I was a little bit older. I wasn't exactly a kid. I was probably maybe like 14. Mm-hmm. And I remember first impression, I was like, it's a kid's movie. Whatever. Probably thought, I'm too old for this type of thing. But yeah. So
And you still think that?
I didn't pay much attention to it. Actually, no. I actually found it for a kids movie. I thought it was great. I found it to be entertaining. I had a couple laughs in there. I mean, it's not like probably up to some of the adult jokes that you would find in like Pixar or some of the things nowadays. But for a 90s kids movie, I thought it was great.
Yeah. I thought it was a lot of fun. How about you, Cam? Have you seen this movie before?
When did this movie come out, Jordan? I know you have that written down.
I do. It came out in 2009-94.
2009-94.
I accidentally hit 2 instead of 1. 1994.
Okay, so I probably saw it about 2 years after it came out then. I think
Okay,
I saw it
I think
when
I was the same.
Yeah, I was like 6 or 7. And then I never watched it again. And all I remembered was like that water slide.
Yeah.
I watched it as an adult person. And I was like, man, this is a cool kid movie aside from the entire fucking pedophilia part.
Yeah.
I mean, otherwise...
That part's a little, like, I never realized that.
No, like that part, like, I know Joe was like, yeah, I'm here for it because we're adult human men. And we're like, yeah, that girl's very good looking. However, that girl full on, that 22-year-old, 25-year-old woman goes on 2 dates with a 9-year-old and then kisses him on the lips.
Okay, but it's not like she was like she wasn't like actually trying to date a kid.
No, she was
doing her job.
Okay, but hang on.
Excuse me.
The part where she goes, they haggle about what year they could start fucking. At the very end, he's like, yeah, 5 years from now. She's like, how about 10? And they're like, yeah, 7. And then she kisses him, and he's a little boy.
Unless you're Jordan's parents, she was just saying that to humor him.
No. Okay, hang on. What about the stuff where she's like, in the water and they're running around and she's like hugging him and being all close. You don't wear
He's
a
a
dress.
kid.
You don't wear a dress like that on a date unless you're expecting to do something afterwards.
There's a difference between being
He's
like
a kid. She's just having fun.
there's a difference between having fun and liking a kid and then like full on kissing a human child that is a stranger.
It
on
was
the
practically
lips and
a kiss on the. It was practically a kiss on the cheek.
It was
a lot of family
practically
members
a
will.
full on dramatic.
A lot of family members kiss their people or their family
Yeah, I
members
know
on
Tom
the
Brady
lips.
does, and he's
No,
a champion.
this was like
but this woman doesn't.
She's a champion, Cam.
the difference is what changes it is it wasn't just a kiss on the lips. She did the head tilt.
Yes.
That was full like I'm kissing you with
It wasn't a
intention
non-sexual
movement right there.
mwah.
Yeah.
It was like
there
a-
was. Nope. There was no tongue. Get that out of here.
Yo, that little-
there was
that-
no
yo, no.
tongue.
And if you want
It
to
was innocent. It's no pedophilia.
Did you see the part where she squeezes
Oh, it's all
Peter?
pedophilia. That's not part of her. That's not even. That's not even part of her job. Like Joe,
She's
your
an
argument is that,
FBI
like, oh, she's
agent.
doing her job to go hang. Yeah, to go hang out with the kid who there's no reason for them to believe has any connection to this man whatsoever, or is
No.
able to get her in
She's-
any more than her just like calling or walking in whenever she wants.
She's following up on the lead of Mr. Macintosh, which, by the way, Mr. Macintosh was the only thing I actually remembered about this movie.
Yeah, I remembered the weird lips on the computer that would talk. I
Yeah.
remembered that about the movie.
Like the discount version of the
But no.
Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Yeah. No, this movie, I feel like that was definitely borderline pedophilia. I'm like, it might not
Nah.
hold up in court.
It
but,
was innocent.
No, it's definitely not innocent.
It would
was
so hold
innocent.
up in court. She would get so arrested and sent to prison.
No, she wasn't a teacher.
She's a. I was, and I got away with it. That's the whole thing.
See, just because you're a teacher, you have this mindset.
That's
Get with
you
the
know,
kids.
To be fair,
I think if you want to make it even
Get with the students, I
worse,
should say.
if you want to make it even worse, Cam had the ages wrong. It was 11 and 31.
Oh,
so it was a 20-year gap.
Disgusting.
It was innocent.
Yeah. No. Joe just wants it to be innocent
Because she's
he's
pretty,
like, yeah,
and he wanted
Yeah.
that when he was a kid. That's it.
yeah, exactly.
Because
exactly.
I'm not going to get it wrong. As a 31-year-old man, that is a banging woman.
Yeah.
As a 9-year-old or whatever you said, 11.
That is a banging woman.
That's a banging woman who should have never kissed me on the lips.
It was innocent.
Yes. No. Yeah, Joe's just going to keep denying over here. Deny. You know what was... Also, I read an interview where the girl who plays the FBI agent, she said she felt disgusted after that scene.
I don't blame her.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't either. So, here's the question I have for both of you. Joe, did it wreck your childhood? And probably not because you never watched it, huh?
Well, I didn't see it as a kid, but no, it did not wreck my childhood.
And Cam, what about you? Did it wreck your childhood?
No, because I think if I were to watch it more than I did that one time, I've only seen this movie one time prior to watching it again. I think that if this was a movie that I revisited, or if my family like had access to watching Disney kids movies more often, this would have been a great kids movie. It's a great kids
yeah.
movie.
It is a great kids
I love this movie. It was on
Yeah.
Disney Channel quite a bit when I was younger.
Right. It's a great and we only had cable for a few years of my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I love Brink and I love that kind of thing. But yeah, this movie is a phenomenal kids movie. So if anything, it made me feel like a kid again, which is great.
That's very true, especially with the way he spends the money.
Yes. So
yeah.
Like, it's
frivolously.
so relatable to a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. The
Though I
stuff
s-
he bought is just like a trash bin full of ice cream.
Yeah.
Though
And
I
like
st-
150 pallets of Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Though, I have some contention because I doubt $1 million would be able to pay for all of it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Jordan,
no,
I'm sure
I've
Jordan's
figured
broken
it
it
out.
down.
Yeah, I figured it out. Like, he spent well over $1 million by, like, the second day.
Yeah,
he was
but
already,
but
like,
the
past
sole
$1
thing
million
is,
bucks.
I think my theory for this is that a kid has no idea what is bigger than $1 million. $1 million is like the
It's like an
biggest.
infinite amount.
Yes.
Well, I
So
think
if they
the
were
biggest-
Like, I
I
had
think
$1 billion. No one would even know what that meant.
Yeah, especially in the 94.
Oh,
We're
yeah,
just
94 is like
barely
no one knew.
realizing what
Yeah,
a
that's when the
billion was
earthquake
in regards to
happened,
money.
you know?
Yeah.
It is.
It is. It is.
So I think pedophilia aside, the most unrealistic thing of this movie was the fact that you could buy a castle for $300,000
Yes.
even in 1990.
Wait
Yes.
a minute. Not even that. How did he pay for building the water slide that went from his office down to the pool?
Also,
The construction
who's
in
signing,
that.
Who's signing the deed? And also, he calls in, he's like, hey, I want to buy this house. Have you ever heard of escrow? It takes 30 days, man. You're not going to be in that house the next day.
Also, yeah, true. Did he pay for everything in cash?
Yeah, he paid for everything in
Yeah.
cash.
That's so sketchy.
That's why no one quote unquote questioned it. But like the IRS ain't gonna be like
No.
looking away from
No.
that one.
No,
Yeah, but no
especially since
kids
they're,
thinking
like,
about
marked.
the IRS.
They're marked all with the FBI mark that is so
Which is
not a
why,
real mark. But
which is why she was looking into Mr. McIntosh.
yeah,
Innocent.
but she
I
did.
find it the funniest thing ever that when you say marked bills, it just means the FBI took a stamp and put FBI on it.
And Joe just now was
so
like,
dumb.
and Joe's like, that's why he was looking into Mr. McIntosh. It didn't mean she had to like try to fuck a kid though. Like that's the biggest point of
Yeah.
contention.
Oh, I remember when I saw that scene with the bills, I went, huh. So that's how they mark a bill.
There's just like someone who's
I know. I actually don't know.
someone's government job is just to stamp every single piece of currency that exists. Like
It just says
Yeah, I don't actually
FBI
know
warning.
how you
This is
mark
a
a bill.
marked bill. Do not
Yeah.
copy.
You
It's
literally
like the copyright infringement that used to be in the beginning of VHSs.
yeah. Yes. Yeah, it's like FBI warning.
Yeah, this is a marked bill.
Oh, it's so funny. Okay, so Cam, I want you to explain. You mentioned something on our group chat about this was like a reverse something or other. This
A
movie.
reverse
What were you
what?
saying?
A reverse what's that movie with that Stanley Kubrick made that he wants to fuck the kid?
Wait, what?
Yeah, reverse.
Stanley Kubrick?
Yes.
The Shining?
Lolita. Reverse Lolita. Okay, so
Lolita.
the whole
Lolita
premise of
Battle
the
Angel?
whole-
Yeah, Lolita Battle Angel.
No. The whole the whole premise of regular style Lolita before she was a battle angel is so this grown adult man meets this like girl that's like 13 or whatever, and she seduces him. And so it's like this whole weird play of like, does age really matter? Is that this girl's mature? Why is she's coming into her sexuality, but she's using it to like draw in an adult man. But the pull is that the main character of the story is the adult man, and you're not supposed to think he's creepy, which he's so creepy. But Blank Check is reverse Lolita
Battle Angel.
because yes, Battle Angel. Except this is fucking little boy version style, where everyone's like, haha, that little boy's just horny, right? Like, that's all you get, rather than it being like this juxtaposed with like, oh, you're playing with innocence and an adult man. This is a little boy who is pursuing an older woman. So you get it from that angle. So it is more acceptable because of, one, patriarchal
Teachers.
standards, two, teachers, three, three, that is just
South Park.
South
The
Park.
South Park episode.
Yeah, three,
Nice.
South Park. Four,
Nice.
Stanley Kubrick was an asshole already, so everyone was like, all right, cool, let's just deal with it. And my ideology is completely flawed because Joe said teachers, which made me laugh really hard in my brain. But it's reverse Lolita. It is rather than the main character being the man that is seduced by a child, we have a child that seduces an adult person. And I feel like if the main character was female,
Yeah,
it
and that
would
makes it
be
acceptable.
revolting. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that
if a
would
full
be,
if a
yeah,
full
totally,
ground
totally.
like if a
it literally-
31-year-old man kissed her on the lips, like, you know, everyone would be like,
Mm-hmm.
what is this movie? But the fact that it's like a 11-year-old kid that gets kissed, you're like, way to go, champ.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I think as a kid, or at least for me as a kid, I didn't realize the age gap was so crazy. Like in my mind, when I think back on this movie, I'm like, oh, it was like him having a babysitter, and he was trying to like take out his babysitter. Like 11 and like 17 was like the age gap in my mind when I
if it
thought
was
back on this movie.
17, we all have crushes on people that are like, when we're kids, like that are like up
Mm-hmm.
to 10 to 12 years older than us.
Pink Ranger.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, we never had crushes on people that had a 401k.
Exactly, and that worked for the government.
Yeah.
It could be worse. She could have whispered in his ear, "Can I keep you?"
Oh,
That's true.
Yeah.
She could have gone full
That
Casper.
that wouldn't have been good.
Full Casper is a level I never want
Okay.
to read.
So I want to ask both of you, real quick here. Is there anything you want to mention before we hop off this call and they just have to listen to me for the next 20 minutes talk about this movie?
Yes. I want to talk about the best character in the movie, the limo driver.
Henry?
Yeah, Henry.
He's so good.
He's the best.
I was confused at the end of this movie. It's like, hey, you're actually my friend. You're not just here because I paid you, but we're still going to have to go our separate ways because for some reason we can't hang out together anymore because now it's socially unacceptable for an adult man and a young child to be hanging out when there's not a financial transaction being made. Like, I didn't get that premise.
Henry was just dealing with some self-preservation, you know? Like, he was like, at least I'm getting paid to hang out with this kid. And then he was like, whoa, this kid is the guy that's in charge. He's like, I think you're cool, but I'm going to peace out so I don't go to prison forever. That was his MO.
That's true.
I think Henry knew. I think he knew that Mr. McIntosh wasn't real and it was the kid. Or
Maybe.
I think he figured it out.
He
I think
figured it out
Henry's
for
just
sure.
supposed to be dumb.
No, I think he just led you on to believe he was dumb.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
Kaiser Soze over here.
Yeah,
Henry
he
Soze.
wanted the FBI agent.
I'm with yo, dude, way to go. Yeah, I think if anyone walked away with that FBI agent that wasn't the little boy that was the main character of the movie, they would have scored. I hate that the little boy kissed an adult human person. I can't get past it.
I know,
I
it
can't
is a
get
little
past
crazy.
it. It ruined
Hey,
the movie for me.
I think my favorite thing Henry said in this movie was he has a whole soliloquy about how there's not more than one way to skin a cat.
That was
I was like,
amazing.
that's
Yeah.
that,
It's like, no, there's only
that
one
whole
way.
monologue was great.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jordan, I
Kill
have a question.
kill
I
a
have a
bird with
question
two
for you.
stones.
Yeah,
Have you ever
two
killed?
birds with one stone. Have you ever seen someone even use a stone to kill one bird? No.
Yes, which is hilarious.
Do you know how hard that would be? Unless it's a big stone.
Jordan, I have a question for you. Of the Wreck My Podcast crew, if we were to do a 4-on-4 free-for-all inflatable glove boxing match, who would win?
Can we get
I think
this?
it would be between you and Kreger because you have the height, but Kreger has the girth. Like he's able to like stand a little bit more. I think me and Joe would be kind of like we're pretty short. I don't think we'd have a lot behind us.
But Joe's
Honestly?
in better shape than both me and Krager.
Honestly, though, I think the winner would be Jordan because I think the three of us would get too gassed and tired, and Jordan's
Yes.
still gonna have energy just like dancing around us.
That is my
He's
answer.
like,
I'm
come
gonna
on,
be
is
like,
that all
I-
you got?
I float like a butterfly, I sting like a bee.
Yeah, he's like, come on, I still got energy. Let's go
Yeah,
a couple
Jordan
more
is
rounds, and we're over here like,
full-fledged. Yeah, dying. If I were to land a punch on Jordan first time, he'd be out. But I'm a 3-punch king. After that, I'm dead. I have no more energy left.
he's a 2-punch chump.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my
And
goal
I'm also
is just to
a regular
take-
style 2-pump chump. Poor Corey. But it's fine. I bought her a guitar that's cool. She can't hear me. She has her headphones on in the
yeah.
other room.
I think the winner would all depend on how long the bout goes. If we're doing 10 rounds, maybe
it's
I might win it
if
out
it's
just
10
on
rounds,
pure
it's
like
Jordan.
stamina.
If it's 10 rounds, it's Jordan. If it's 3 rounds, it's Joe. If it's 1 round, I'll take me. And I think
If it's half a round, you'll take Krager.
no, I give
And if it's a committed relationship, Krager will knock that thing out.
But only for a year. Sorry, Beggs.
Guys, I have to tell you something about. I have to tell you about. I was gonna bring this up on a round table. I was gonna bring this up, but we didn't have it. Is that the Elite Eight Showdown? They have a bet going on in their Discord about when Krager's relationship is gonna fail, and they all have blocks. And they said if he ends up marrying this girl, they're just gonna send him all the money.
That's actually awesome.
and also Krager
Yeah.
loves money.
I know. So he can't even get mad that they're betting against his relationship, because if he wins, then he gets all the money.
Yeah, it's totally true. If you watch the YouTube. But yeah, I mean,
Oh my gosh. Although there is no YouTube this time, Cam.
oh fucking hell yeah! Then it's this many.
We don't have video.
Yeah, but you guys can see me. That's all I care about is that you guys can see this.
I can see you.
Yeah. Also,
Yeah.
Krager's gonna listen. Krager, I'm holding up my cat's paws, which is so many fingers.
Which is infinity fingers.
Yeah, yeah. It's yes.
Oh my gosh, those are all great questions. Was there anything else you wanted to bring up here at the end?
Actually, yes. In regards to blank check, circling back. One contention I did have with this. So this guy breaks out of jail, prison. He's in his orange jumpsuit. He still has a broken handcuff on his wrist. He goes, he collects his secret stash of money to start his new life, right? Mm-hmm. By the end of the movie, it's determined that he does not have a new identity or anything.
Yeah, it's just him.
It's just him. Is no one looking for this guy? People just
That's a
see
huge-
him and no
Yeah.
one recognizes him?
That's a great point, because wouldn't the FBI be like looking for a guy?
Yeah.
But
They're
here's
like,
the thing,
hey,
why?
you look familiar. Have we
Here's
met
the reason.
somewhere?
Here's the reason why, though. Okay, so follow me down this path here. They marked the bills, which means they knew he hid money, which means that they probably let him escape to follow him to the money to get him for something bigger. Now, here's where it breaks down. Is that at the end of the movie, when he says he's Mr. McIntosh, they should know he's not Mr. McIntosh.
Right. Yeah, that's one problem.
Yeah.
But they were also looking at the marked bills because they were looking into the bank manager for laundering. That was the whole what their whole sting was.
Yeah.
Okay.
They were looking into the bank manager for money laundering.
The guy who looks like a fat crow.
And then this guy's
Yeah.
walking in the bank where FBI agent works. He's walking in, giving him the bank manager his money in his suit. No one recognizes him.
Yeah, that's super weird. That,
Hey, aren't you
that
the guy
makes
that
no sense.
just broke out of prison?
Yeah,
Sure, his
and
name
it's
would have
not
been in
on
the news
it's
somewhere.
not on local news. It's not in any newspaper.
Yeah. Also, how just convenient it was. There was like welding tools where he left his little treasure chest of money before. To,
Yeah,
like,
dude. If
everything
Krager
just worked out for this guy.
If Krager was on this podcast, he could be able to tell us whether or not that was like an accurate set of tools.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's true because he
That's
uses,
true.
like,
But he's not.
He's not. So, I don't know. I don't have.
So
anything,
too bad.
I don't have anything real funny to say about that. I wish he was here because I'm sure he probably liked this movie.
Do you have anything fake funny to say about that? Mm-hmm. So
Do you
Joe,
remember-
that's a
do you
fair
remember
point.
when that
That's a fair point. I
Do
think
you remember in the movie, probably about, I don't know, halfway through, when he looked at a Penthouse magazine and came for the first time?
I thought that was just the FBI agent's badge.
Oh, there's just a sheet full of cum?
what is even happening right now?
I don't know. I'm just trying to be gross on purpose because I haven't been on this show in a long time.
I just really want a go-kart track in my backyard.
Oh, dude, that would
Oh,
be
me too.
sick.
Me too. For
That is
sure.
as good. Okay, here's
For
a question
sure.
And
for
a
you
giant
guys.
hamster ball that people could fit in?
Yes.
That would kill you if you push it in the water?
Yeah.
And that would
also,
make
how
you
did he
drown?
break out? Like
I was
that,
wondering that too.
he would have drowned so fast because that entire thing was made out
Oh
of
yeah,
iron.
he'd be dead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as soon as the ball
he'd
went in
be
the water,
dead.
that's what I thought of. I was
What
like,
is your guys'
he's
favorite
drowning.
thing that he had.
He purchased?
Yeah, that he purchased.
Ooh.
Okay, so I was gonna say this is the thing that always tripped me out as a kid. I used to love this part in the First Kid, that movie where it was like the president's son with Sinbad
Yeah.
and everything.
Yeah.
Virtual reality was like, I thought virtual reality was the coolest thing ever when I was a kid in the 90s, and really it was like awful. But he has this virtual reality headset that it's projecting what he's seeing on the screen behind him, and it's some like crazy weird anime. But I'm like, are you just watching that? Or are you like playing it? Or like, what are you doing? I always thought that was like the coolest
more
thing
than
ever.
just the headset, because he's also in the like spaceship thing or whatever
Yeah.
that makes it feel like you're whatever game he's
a
playing.
simulator.
Yeah.
So I thought that was the coolest thing ever.
Also, can you imagine the amount of wiring it took to build that entire grid of 175 televisions?
Yeah, like 4 wires.
So many more, Jordan.
Things
So
built to
many
his
more.
security system too.
And yeah, so many, all through the whole house. That job is a $1 million job on its own. On its own.
Yes. Just the security system.
Yes, and I don't know why they just didn't build like a full-on one big fake ass screen.
Oh yeah, like back then in '94, like we didn't have the technology to actually have a big screen.
Yeah,
Instead,
it's just like a big
500 little screens.
Yeah, it's just a massive, big, huge like TV tube, right?
Yeah.
Or they could have just made it be like, oh, yo, this is a projector. Like that's
Yeah.
it.
We had movie theaters back in the day.
Yes,
True.
and projected digitally. Like it wasn't
Question.
good, but it happened.
Do we know where this supposedly took place in?
Yeah, it's supposed to be Indiana, Hillsdale, Indiana,
Oh, yeah.
but it actually was filmed in Texas.
Because
Yeah,
I mean,
they didn't have technology in Indiana.
well,
back then.
not, they had cornfields.
Yeah.
But the only reason why I was asking, I mean, he bought a castle with incredible masonry everywhere
Beautiful.
for $300,000.
You know who owns that house right now?
David Beckham.
Michael Jackson.
Robert Rodriguez.
No way.
Really?
Yep, he owns that house.
He owns the blank check house.
Yep.
Is the slide still there?
I don't think the slide ever was there. I think
Aw.
those were different like sets and stuff.
I mean, come on, that's the selling point right
Yes,
there.
and he would have gotten the idea for Spy Kids going down that slide
Yes.
for sure.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
He could have gotten.
Yeah.
He could have gotten the idea of Spy Kids just from that house. But
Yeah.
I wonder
That's
if
a
that
Spy Kids
house
house.
played any role in Spy Kids.
Probably.
You know what? It looks familiar enough that like maybe it was in Spy Kids at some point. It's like,
Even
just
if
come
it's
film at
a-
my house.
Yeah, it probably just looks different without all the 50 screens.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean, his
exactly.
entire production house is on his property. He has 2
Oh,
studios
dang.
on his property.
Ah, isn't that the dream?
Oh,
That is the dream.
Dude. Yes.
Dude.
Joe, what would you pick?
Oh, as the his
The
best
thing
purchase?
you would want to buy.
Yeah.
Honestly, I've always wanted a wrestling ring in the backyard.
That would be so cool.
The boxing gloves and the whole ring and everything, I thought that was awesome. I've always thought that would be so
cool.
much fun to do.
I'm with you. That's 100% what I'm into. I want a giant inflatable wrestling ring that my friends and I can fuck around on. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a dream right there.
Either that or a giant chair that hoists you up in the ceiling.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. The spiky chair.
Yeah, that thing was pretty crazy.
Cam, what
Imagine
about
falling
you? What would you
asleep
buy?
on that chair.
Me, I'm with
Waking
Joe.
up in the middle of the night.
Full-fledged with Joe. Full-fledged wrestling, inflatable wrestling ring.
Mm-hmm.
I would
Oh,
have
yeah.
so much fun on that, and like even if I didn't have friends over, I would just be tombstone pile driving Corey on it over and over. I'd just be like, and then full on do
They're
it
trying to do a leg drop on like on Ellen.
on my cats. Yeah, dude. Yeah, I would do that all day. I would just practice wrestling moves. I would have so much fun because when I broke my ankle legit pretending to be Roman Reigns doing a Superman punch in college, that I would love an inflatable.
Oh, that's why we
doesn't hurt me.
can't.
Exactly.
Yeah, we can't pretend to be wrestlers because we always just end up hurting ourselves doing their entrance stuff.
Oh, dude, I was pretending to be Dean Ambrose's entrance, and I kicked my friend's dorm room door open because I was the RA, so I had everybody's key card. And so, like, I key carded his door, and I kicked it open, and he had like a key ring like on the door right there, and I still have a scar from the key ring that got stuck in my flesh pretending to be Dean Ambrose. And I'd like wrap my hands up in like that stupid Ace Bandage shit, you know? And like I walked and was trying to be Dean Ambrose,
Yeah.
but like I still full-fledged have a scar pretending to be Dean.
If the four of us were entered into the ring with Breaker and Bane, would we even stand a chance
No.
against them?
No.
Oh no, not at all. Breaker's a legitimate wrestler.
He's a wrestler. Jordan would be the only one
Yeah,
that
he's
had a
actually
chance.
a wrestler.
Jordan would be the only one that had a chance. If it was
Because I would just be running away.
Yes.
I'd be
Running through the crowd and
I'd be
everything.
running the ropes back and forth and just not stopping.
Yeah, you would be useless Ricochet.
Yes, I would be flipping out of the way, not onto anyone.
Yeah. And
It's
if
like
it
the
was-
rest of us just get like power bombed to the point where we're just
God.
like we just lay on the ground. We're just there like, okay, we're done. And it's just Jordan running in circles trying to avoid them.
Yes, until they got tired, and then Jordan would still keep running and then run out of the arena. Because he is
No. Wrestling logic says that I run away until they get tired, then I try to punch them, and then it doesn't hurt them, and they get mad, and they no-sell it, and then they punch me, and then I'm
Yes.
done.
Yes, and then you get a couple Big Show slaps to the chest, and you're dead.
Ooh,
And then
yeah, don't want any of that.
Krager comes in with a chair to the back to Breaker, and Breaker just turns around, looks at him, and Krager goes, "I'm sorry."
Where like they hit him and he gets all mad.
I'm
like,
so sorry.
And he's just like the whole time. Oh, that's so Yeah, that would happen.
Don't want any of this, man.
That would happen. But
Oh,
we
that's
would-
funny.
But all
Hey,
four
I
of
want
us.
to say a few things here.
The biggest thing that you want to say,
All
Jordan,
four of us, maybe.
is that all four of us would totally fuck up the Brew Interviews podcast.
And Elite Eight Showdown.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, half of them are lesbians, so is that even fair?
Who's the other lesbian? Big Chuck?
No, I said half of the Brew Interviews is lesbian.
Oh, I thought you meant
Yeah,
Robbie
because of
Amore.
Robbie.
yeah.
He's the
Robbie-
lesbian.
Robbie is a lesbian. Yeah.
Yeah, Robbie's lesbian, yeah.
I feel like Lauren would turn and be on our side. Heel turn.
Either
Big
that,
time heel turn.
either that, or you and Lauren would both turn and join and start your own tag team and fight the rest of us.
And we'd be the Rainbow Warriors and we would win. Yeah. Lauren, you're listening. This is what's happening.
She doesn't know movies. So the few things I want to mention here is
This isn't movies. This is wrestling.
They said if you Googled it, so like Preston, when he gets the $1 million, he gets it in $10 bills. That would not fit in a backpack. Like not
No.
even close. It would
No,
be
when,
way
when-
too many.
When freaking Tone Loc like hands him the backpack back, I was like, that kid would fall all the way down to the ground and not get back up.
Oh yeah. Yeah, totally. And then the last thing I want to mention here is what kind of party planner doesn't have a net 30-day invoice? Like who's like, hey, during the party, pay me?
Yeah, that's not a thing.
No, that's not a thing.
And also,
That doesn't happen.
her price was exorbitant. That
Oh,
was
like $100,000? No way.
for that
little party
for that
she
garbage party. Yeah.
threw? Yeah, that's awful. I think like my wedding was nicer than that party, and that was very cheap.
Yeah,
comparatively.
Corey and I were just talking about one of our friends' weddings that was $20K, and it was like a beautiful wedding. And
Yeah, so see?
Yeah.
I have a legitimate question because I do not know. Do they make a bill larger than $100?
A $500 bill.
Is that
Do they
real
really?
life?
Yeah, I think that's real life. I think they used to have $1,000 bills, but they got rid of those, and I think they still have $500 bills. They have a $2 bill.
I'll do. Yeah, that sounds good. Let me look. I'm gonna look right here. Like
Yeah, look and see, because I know at one point I thought that like $500 bills. They're called the Hamiltons.
No, Hamilton's on a $10
No, I don't know.
bill.
Is Hamilton actually on a bill?
He's on the $10
Yeah.
bill. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, cool.
All right. So here's
So,
the largest.
Except
legal
it's the
tender
Broadway
bill.
play
dude-
Hamilton.
So Minwell Lynn Miranda, or whatever his name is, he's on a $10 bill.
Linwell Miranda.
That's it.
Not what? What did you say?
I said Miguel Lan Miranda.
Good job, proud of you.
Yeah, I don't know that guy.
So
The guy who did Moana.
The Rock?
The $500 bill was discontinued in 1934, as well as the $1,000
Okay,
bill.
so that's got to be at least worth $502.
Because of inflation. The $100 note is the largest
Yeah.
note that exists right now.
Ah. Okay.
Oh,
I was
wow,
just
dang.
curious.
Yeah, me
That's
too.
pretty cool.
That's actually pretty interesting. But
So
yeah,
if you were to pull out $1 million cash, you would have to get it all in hundreds.
right. Mm-hmm. But there was a $10,000 note up until 1934, and a $100,000 note up until 1934.
Like, who was using that in the 30s? Like, $100,000 back then was like,
I'm just gonna
you could
say
buy the country
million?
with that.
I'm just gonna
Yeah.
say Halliburton because that's probably right.
Rockefeller.
Yeah, one of those too. Even
Who?
Bush, the Bush
Rockefeller.
family was crazy too.
Oh, yeah.
But Woodrow
Yeah.
Wilson,
Yeah.
Woodrow Wilson
yeah.
is on the $100,000 note.
Interesting.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
Good old Wood Will.
Do you guys know
Good
that there
old
was
WW.
this is
WW over
this
here.
is weird. Do you guys know who this guy is on the
Yeah, it's
U.S. Yep. $10,000 note. There's a guy named Salmon P. Chase. Who is that?
I don't know, but can we get Samuel L. Jackson on a note?
Yeah, let's slap him on
He's like, it's money.
on a $40 bill. And on the back it says "bad motherfucker."
Dude, I would use a
off.
$40 bill.
I would love that bill.
I think $40, like, I use $40 more than you think. So, like, I would go for a $40 bill.
Yeah. The guy that was on the $10,000
Okay,
bill, Salmon Chase, was the governor of Ohio. And they were like, yeah, let's put him on the $10,000 bill.
Jordan.
Okay, on that note, I think we're gonna call this podcast podcast quit.
Yeah, sounds good, man.
Yeah, on that note.
On
Yeah,
that
on
note, we're
that
going to
note,
call that
so,
P-pop-pop-pop.
So I guess we'll see you all next week because this was crazy.
Yeah, bye, I love you.
Yeah. I'll be interested to hear how this all came out.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, bye everyone.
I like and I love you all.
Bye, I love you.
Wreck My Podcast. Wreck My Podcast.
From Walt Disney Pictures, this morning, Preston Waters got something
Who's on my bike?
Let's check your dad. We'll know what to do with it. That's going to change his life.
Blank check.
Now he's buying more stuff,
You have a house.
meeting more women,
Baby brother comes into his own.
and stopping 3 crooks
I'm gonna get you, kid.
from taking all of his money.
That must have hurt.
Disney's Blank Check. Now playing at a theater near you. Check newspaper for showtimes.